and then he's gonna. Oh my God! Look at what I'm scrolling at.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah,
okay, so here, let's do it again. This might even be the same people. We don't. So at Ango PW, do y'all really think Drew McIntyre is leaving WWE for AEW? And he's got a goddamn Drew Galloway is all elite post.
Drew Galloway.
My goodness.
Where did they get that name
gracious.
from? Impact, son.
Oh my goodness. So let's read. Hell yeah. Okay, hold on.
All right.
Do y'all really think Drew McIntyre is leaving WWE for AEW? Here's the first response right here. Official Kalal. All these motherfuckers pay for their blue checks now too. Hey, it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, fucking Marks.
Okay, hell yeah. He is some CW WWE at this time having a freeze on hiring talent. Okay, they don't have a freeze on hiring talent. And I'm sure with him gone, they will save money. But I believe he's tired and did his best to accomplish what he wanted was to be champion. AEW will be a new, fresh start for him. See you in AEW, Drew. Okay, this guy does not have Kalal punctuation, and English is probably a second language, but ultimately, I don't even know what to say to that. That is just, for starters, it couldn't happen. Go ahead.
It sounds like the same shit they say about everything, man. What indication?
Okay, Cornette's trending. Cornette's trending too. We're gonna take a little detour. Yeah, we're gonna click on it. But here, let's read a couple more of these. So I highly doubt it, but he could be the first big WWE name to jump ship. This guy goes, I highly doubt it, but he could be the first big WWE name to jump ship. Like, that's kind of shots at anyone who's jumped ship so far. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of funny.
Sorry, Adam Cole.
Yeah,
Adam Cole.
Listen to this. Listen to Joel Lopez on Twitter here. It says, if he doesn't re-sign with WWE, I see him going to New Japan. AEW is too
awesome.
Although I think he would have some bangers with the likes of Wardlow, Samoa Joe, Powerhouse Hobb, and Brody King if he did sign with AEW. Yeah, I mean,
you're not going to get any of that.
No, they wouldn't. Not going to get any of that, dude. He'll fight fucking. He'll be fighting
Orange Cassidy. Yeah. Don't act like I'm even playing, Doug. You know that's what it would be. It would be okay, Doug. It'd be a huge Drew McIntyre pop. Oh my God, he's here! And then goodness. 2 weeks from now, and then after the huge pop, Jericho would latch on to him. You know what I'm saying? And then after his little Jericho feud, he would just fucking end up jobbing out the fucking Orange Cassidy, Doug. That's my 2 cents on that. But continue.
Oh my goodness. Okay, we got a detour here, and we're gonna look at why Cornette's trending. Are you ready?
Oh yeah, I'm ready for this thing.
Okay. From anyone. Okay. Thank you. Please stop this talking point. FTR have never endorsed or subscribed to Cornette's worldview. Okay, so Cash Wheeler's saying you have no idea. Okay, so Cash Wheeler's arguing with people. Cash Wheeler, pardon me. Maybe stop supporting. Okay, so we got to go back a few here.
All right, breaking news, everyone.
Breaking news, dude. Okay, Dax is one of the best people you could ever meet. Passionate about wrestling and family, protective over his friends, especially when people don't know everything. He's not afraid to speak up and not do it anonymously. Honest to a fault. We all need to do better to fix this situation. Everyone involved, no fingers pointed. No one is completely innocent. I respect everyone involved and want the best for AEW. I'm tired of reading negativity from both sides, fans and wrestlers. Real life is more important. Enough. And then, so this is Cash Wheeler at Cash Wheeler FTR saying this. And then this guy called at Gillyball13 responds, not afraid to speak up means taking feedback, both positive and negative. Have to own that if you put it out there publicly. And then Cash says, from people with no real insight on what they've read. So what the fuck are they talking about here? The Elite? Because the Elite are trending too, and so is fucking Meltzer. Okay. So we just opened up a shitstorm on Twitter here on the show.
Yeah.
So, let's click through these. Fuck whatever we were going to talk about for a minute at least. You know, like AEW can wait. I mean, let's be honest here. This is about AEW. That's what we were going to talk about. This is what we were going to talk about next. So we got Meltzer, we got the Elite to look at here. Let's see what's going on. So I assume this has to do with Brawl Out, and I assume and the business side of me, Romero, the business I've never participated in, but I love so much, makes me want to say they're working everyone and they're doing this because FTR and Punk are going to lead the one show, and they're going to give everyone the Elite are going to be on one show, Punk and F are going to be on one show, and
That's what you were saying.
they're going to build up to the big match and give it to us, the big blow off eventually. But I mean, what's going to happen when Saturday starts drawing bigger ratings than fucking Wednesday, bro? What's going to happen then?
We'll see, bud.
Okay, so I assume they're talking about Brawl Out. We're going to scroll through a bunch of these because this is people are flipping. So let's read back on Corny. So here.
Let's get to Corny, bro.
So this guy goes at Phoenix. I don't know, your name's too long. Fuck you. Maybe stop supporting Cornette then. Also, they're speaking up, then they're speaking too much. You all have to know that's why fans have turned the way they have. Between that and defending Punk so deeply, despite him being the instigator of Brawl Out. Okay, that's a subjective opinion, and that's also you're projecting like you having Twitter mark arguments onto Cash Wheeler because he's never deeply defended Punk. He's just said Punk's a great guy. Ask people.
Right, and back to his initial statement, real life. He's talking about real life, and these Twitter marks are.
And then he's conflating it with pro wrestling. Fucking ridiculous.
Right. Oh God. Okay. So to Corny. Why? Okay, man. Oh.
Give it to me. Continue. I want you to shoot.
Nah, it's just like it's dumb, man. All of it, like Cornette has nothing to do with that, man. You know?
Right, because he has an opinion on the matter. Gives a fuck.
Right. And dude, I've seen tweets from the FTR camp even saying we don't completely agree with everything. And man, it's just it's Marks just reading Twitter headlines and fucking clickbait bullshit and not actually doing the research.
Right, dude, I listen to Cornette. I listen to all of his clips on like YouTube, like for the most part, and I don't agree with a lot. You know this because me and you talk about it in private, dude. I've buried him a little bit to you, dude, and I don't agree with everything he says a lot of the fucking time. But
and that's your opinion,
I could never imagine hearing that and just being like going nuts about like fucking or like bringing him into this in any way, really. Like, what the fuck does he even have to do with any of this? Because they all just think they're talking to Punk behind the scenes, which like a bunch of wrestlers are, dude. It's not just them.
Okay, so here's the thing. Here's what Cornette has to do about with it is ever since Corny had his little run-in with the Young Bucks backstage or whatever, they've just been pushing this narrative that Jim Cornette's the bad guy and him and Brian last but don't know what they're talking about. And it's all simply just a Barry campaign because they don't like his opinion on shit, man. And that's not how it works, okay? You buy your wrestling ticket, I'm allowed to either cheer for Roman Reigns or boo Roman Reigns. That is my opinion as a wrestling fan. And I don't know, man. Like, and that's just the cancerous shit that the Elite does is like they project all this negativity onto their fans, you know? And like, man, I don't know. Continue.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna continue. That's an interesting take. You know, I to me, I feel like they're like really positive dudes who I think, and I hate to say this, I just think like they're in over their heads. Like they should have not been executives.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They should have just been wrestlers, and what they should have
did run a Target.
Okay. Okay, we're gonna fucking move on.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna move on.
You got me going, Doug. Yeah.
Hey, man, you know, and again, you know, right, we have differing opinions on all of that in certain areas, but I do agree with the gist of what you're saying. I do think a lot of this is coming from them just whispering to Meltzer and shit. And now where people will say, well, you're just saying, why are you dragging Corny into it, but you're dragging Meltzer into it? But the difference is that, well, actually, I want to expand a little bit on what you're saying. Because this is what people don't talk about enough either. When Tony Khan created AEW, he brought Jim Cornette in.
Yes, he was consulting,
bro. And that was the first person he called. And Jim told Jim told Tony that Kenny and the Bucks were the wrong guys. And Tony was like, no, these are the guys I want to go with. And Jim told him, like, listen, Hangman maybe, Cody maybe. I think this is the right, like Jericho, whatever. But Kenny and the Bucks are not Corny. The right people to do this with. and
Right.
he and Tony, you know, chose them over him. Essentially, is sort of what happened. And I don't know, man. This could all come back. I mean, this could be really good for wrestling though, too, in AEW. If you have two shows competing like this, where they're
So
separate and you got two
it's
shows shooting on each other, dude, could be great.
Doug,
It could be good, you know?
it wasn't that Tony Khan chose the elite over Jim Cornette. It was basically what Corny said is if you are going to work with the Young Bucks, then I'm not going to work with you. And they came to a mutual agreement, and that was that. It was all business, you know. And look,
Well,
my bad. And
yeah.
I understand this part is opinion. You know, was Corny wrong? You know, look at the
No,
direction
for
the Young
walking
Bucks
away
took
from
it
it, he can
in.
do whatever he's a grown ass man. He can do what he wants.
Right. You know,
Yeah.
but like, was Corny wrong? Like, look at the direction the Young Bucks took the company in. They would rather put their egos and like they would rather have a Twitter fucking a viral Twitter moment than a huge house. You know what I'm saying? Is how I feel about that.
Yeah,
You
or
know?
like get the 5 stars, you know, like these guys really do the
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
talking
Yeah. Yeah.
backstage
Exactly.
about getting the 5 stars. Like there's footage of like Britt Baker and these people saying like, I hope Meltzer gives it 5 stars, and it's like, why the
Yep.
fuck
Oh,
would
I've
you
seen it.
even care? Like,
Who cares?
yeah, and I get that people are like, oh, he has an opinion too, and that's his opinion, and we value his opinion because he's been reviewing wrestling for 20 years. And who the fuck are you, Mark? I'll accept that criticism, but I'll throw it back at
Right.
you and say, what the fuck is he like? Okay, cool, but here's the thing, right? He's trending right
Right.
now. We're gonna click and find out why. But here's the thing: he's just when you're a quote unquote a journalist, you cannot be. This is the problem with the world right now: is that all this media is just bought and paid for. Now I know that Tony Khan isn't depositing checks in Dave Meltzer's fucking bank account, but what he is doing is just like fucking they're chilling, bro. They're hanging out in fucking whatever, you
Yeah.
know.
Oh, yeah.
So it's just like you know because
My
it's just
bad. So
yeah.
let's get to why Cornette himself is trending.
Okay. So pretty much, well, this, I think because this guy stirred up the shit and went, maybe stop supporting Cornette then, whatever. So then Cash Wheeler goes, you have no idea what you're talking about. Please show me the support, saying he has some good points about wrestling and is entitled to freedom of speeches and support. Well, no, actually, that
Right.
is support. No, Cash, that is support, but you don't have to defend that because I don't defend that Jim Cornette said if people are like, he fat shamed or whatever he did. I see these things come up. I can agree with his opinion on wrestling and not support that other thing he said and
Right.
still support another thing he said. And that's just called being a human being, bro. Like
Well,
crazy.
right.
This is crazy.
And that's like what I was saying about like the whole thing with the elite is they use these other things to try to discredit him. And it's like, okay, just because he called someone fat doesn't mean like he's wrong about wrestling. You know what I'm saying? Like those are two different things. Like,
Right.
and they're cherry picking things. You know,
Yeah.
it's like
Just
okay,
because
I got
he's old as fuck and he makes like an
yep,
Ethiopia joke and it's like shit they used
right,
to say back in the day doesn't mean that he's wrong about wrestling or he's wrong about
okay,
or he doesn't have insight on certain things and it doesn't mean I can't like enjoy
right,
his historical deep dives on fucking Dusty Rhodes's career and shit,
correct,
right? Like it doesn't mean I can't
right,
value his contributions to
right.
wrestling because he has a fucking like a weird like a thing like he said something I wouldn't say. He's not actively out
Well,
there
right,
like
like
kill fat people or whatever the fuck like that's not what he's
right,
doing. So like
exactly.
why be mad about it? I just don't understand.
Yeah, I just don't understand how he's discredited over these things. Like those are two separate things. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Yes.
man,
Anyways,
it's
we
like
can
the
keep going.
sky.
So let's
Yeah,
read what this guy
yeah,
said, right? Because he's basically so this Phoenix guy responds to Cash saying the same shit. The man has continually showed racist, sexist views. So people start throwing the is and the obics, and it's just like, to me personally, I start tapping out. I'm like, I can't do this. You know, like life's too short to be like, you know, like just live and love, bro. That's all I gotta
yeah.
say about any. So
None of
race
that has anything to do with wrestling.
exactly, man.
You know?
Exactly. So showed racist, sexist views. He might have some good views, but does that take away from him calling every Japanese female wrestler schoolgirls, calling Kenny Twinkle Toes and other things? Okay, calling him Twinkle
But
Toes
he
is funny because because when he does his V trigger thing,
hilarious.
he goes up on his tippy toes, kind of like that, which I kind of like. Like I always thought it looked like I always looked at Kenny Like he's kind of like Ultimate Warrior. And people don't, when I say that, what I mean is
I get
like,
what you're saying.
dude,
I
he's
get it.
very just like theatrics, and that's part of his allure. Like
Yeah,
Hulk
yeah,
Hogan was like that. The
yeah,
ooh,
yeah, yeah,
dude, I like that about Kenny. Like
yeah,
Jim
yeah, man.
roasts it.
Kenny,
He's entitled to roast it. I'm entitled to like that about him and say
but
no. In WWE
okay,
with their pacing, you could highlight, you could accentuate that aspect of Kenny's talent, you know. But okay, I
but
mean,
so
Twinkle Toes is
what you're
funny.
saying here about what on the topic of Kenny Omega and Jim Cornette, what you just said there, like my 2 cents on that is Corny when he watched that Will Ospreay match against Kenny, he started the podcast portion of that with, "Okay, I finally get it. Everything you guys were saying about Kenny Omega. Now I understand why he was over." You
Yeah,
know, so it's like,
exactly, exactly. But he
but,
just
but like, where are the
and then
dirt
he
sheets
ended that
talking
by
about
saying
that?
Cornette ended that. I remember that podcast, or at least a clip that I heard, and he ended all
Yeah,
talking
yeah, yeah.
about that match by saying as well, like, yeah, he put it over, but then he kind of ended was
Right.
like, but I just he's just like, but I'll
It's not
never
for him. Yeah,
support a
yeah.
dude who did like
Right.
finger guns in a guy's butthole and stuff. Like I just don't, you know, he's like, I'm sorry, it's unforgivable to me. So that's his opinion. It's not unforgivable to me.
Right.
That's my opinion. So, anyways,
Correct.
so racist, sexist, schoolgirls, him calling Japanese female wrestlers schoolgirls. Okay, a couple of them are like
Rio!
yeah, okay, there you go.
Rio!
So Riho to me, I thought personally her original attires, I was when I first saw her in AEW, I thought she was dressing kind of like a schoolgirl myself personally as well. So I didn't at first, but then he says it about Sheeta. When he says that, I go, ah, oh, Jim, come on. Like, you know, it's like, Jim, come on. They're not like, look at Asuka, look at fucking Io Sky. Like, there's a lot of like Kyrie, you know, she's a literal pirate. So that's not a fucking schoolgirl right there, you know, like it's like, but I get what he means. But like, I personally thought Riho was trying to be like, when he first started saying that, I was like, why are people getting mad? Like, she is a schoolgirl. Isn't that like her gimmick? But then like,
Yeah.
no, but then he has called like Sheeta. He's like, oh, they're all, he's flat out said that they're all dressed like schoolgirls. And then it's like, Jim, come on, you know, like I roll my eyes at that too. But anyways, fuck all that. Cash says, am I disagreeing with you? I don't think any of that shit is acceptable. Never have. Neither does Dax. But coming on
Right.
Twitter and saying this is only going to invite more negativity. So let's just keep going in circles because it's so productive.
Okay, exactly.
Yeah.
And here we are talking about it.
Okay, here. This guy says, so
But
crazy
he's
take.
right.
Crazy take. Cornette is probably the greatest historian on pro wrestling around just because he is an FTR
Boom.
fan and honestly earned his opinion on pro wrestling. Has zero to do with anything.
Yes.
Everyone has an opinion and Corny earned his. And then this guy responds. This guy responds who was arguing with Cash. So that was a guy called Frank. So this guy, Phoenix, who was responding to Cash, he responds to this Frank guy and says, he doesn't get a pass for wrestling knowledge. Not when he continually puts out things that either skirt the line or are directly at the line of racist, and he censored the word racist. What the fuck?
Dude, it's just, man.
Dude, the things he said about Riho alone are awful.
Dumb.
You don't excuse bad behavior. Not saying Cash is. I'm saying many do. Well, then what is your fucking argument? This is dumb. We're fucking. I can't read more of that. Let's click on. There was people trending here. We got Punk trending. We got Meltzer's fucking the Elite. What do you want to click on here?
We got to go over all of it. So just
Hogan's trending.
Oh, we're for sure going over that one. Brother.
Yeah, brother. That don't work for me, brother.
Let's get all the AEW crap out of the way, okay?
Well, I don't know, man. I had notes written down of some AEW shit I wanted to talk about,
No,
but I mean, this is
yeah, we'll get to it.
okay. Yeah. Okay, I was just like, this is way better though, because this is like live tweets.
Yeah, it is better. Yeah.
JD from NY. Should we watch his bullshit? Listen to this. A message to CM Punk, the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, and all involved. 5 years ago, we were a part of something that showcased a desire for pro wrestling that the industry sorely needed. A group of men came together because of the love they had for pro wrestling. Okay, cool. Melodramatic. I love all the melodrama. Okay, so Punk is maybe okay. Look at the smug look on the faces of Meltzer and Alvarez towards the end. The look of joy on their faces while spitting garbage from their mouths, and these pricks wonder why people are going after them and why CM Punk was angry.
Story. It all stemmed from a story that
they just have these cocky fucking smirks on their face. I get it. Like, this is all just like a joke to them, and they're fucking with people's lives and the fans. They're ruining shit for the fans. Meltzer, Alvarez, god damn it. You know?
There's just being a bunch of marks, bro. I'm
dude,
sorry that I
marks
keep
for
going back to
themselves.
that.
That's the worst part.
For
Marks
sure,
for themselves,
bro. And like,
yeah.
they're doing the same thing Sean Ross Sapp does. It's all like, bro, you are part of the culture. You aren't the culture. Okay?
Yeah.
Stop.
Imagine, so this guy Ian Drew Dice Clay says, imagine if Meltzer, Alvarez, Jericho, the Young Bucks, all their pals, FTR, Omega, and the 90 people tagged onto it, giving their opinions out, put this much energy into speaking out 3 years ago. The industry might have got a bit better. Damn,
Doug.
Damn, I don't know what I'm gonna say about.
How hasn't the industry got better? Okay, how hasn't the industry got better though? I swear this is the best wrestling has ever been. You know, I feel like it's thriving right now.
It is.
I don't care if you like WWE or if you like AEW. You know, Impact. It's all, I don't know, man. Yeah. Obviously, there's a lot of botching and like, you know,
and I guess we're
crying about shit.
Yeah. And like I guess we're like our angle too. Like, people might be like, wow, listening to this, like, wow, these guys just bitch about marks on Twitter a lot. What the fuck is the point of that? But the thing is like, it's funny to us. And
right.
we just like, obviously podcast. Right, it's our podcast. We're gonna do what the fuck we want. And like, it's funny to hear us like go off on shit, obviously, and maybe it's clickable content, and maybe, you know, whatever, maybe it's good, you know, for social media.
We do anyways.
This is what, but this yeah, this is what myself and Hairline be saying in the fucking in our DMs all the time. Anyways, bro, this is what we do. We just talk.
Now we're just showing everyone.
Yeah, so now we're just doing it publicly.
That's how we are.
And we share tweets and we share all this shit back and forth. And to me, it's like, but ultimately, like, where our gripe comes from is like, dude, like, some news breaks and then there's just a whole wave for AEW or WWE. There's just a whole wave of people with the most mentally ill takes. Not to be insensitive, but just the, you know what I mean? Like, they come in with just incredibly brain dead takes. And then what it literally does and it's gotten so bad to the point where this toxicity has overlapped into the business now, and it's ruining wrestlers. It's ruining fans, is what we get on the shows, CM Punk, and it's these new, you know what I mean? And it's, and people can go, can you imagine back in the day these guys reacting like this? Yeah, but it's not back in the day. Social media didn't exist then. It exists now. Well, so it's a whole new social psychological dichotomy you're dealing with these athletes who already, most of them should be seeing sports therapists and shit, and a lot of them don't because they're fucking pro wrestlers, dude. So I just think you're all fucked, and we're gonna point it out and laugh at you and have fun, and it's our podcast, so fuck you. But sorry, Hairline, go ahead.
You can't tell me these marks aren't not ruining it, man. Especially when he's gonna go, when the dude from FTR is gonna go on Twitter and defend himself like that. So here's the thing: FTR was on a Jim Cornette experience, okay, and they are influenced by his work with the Midnight Express, you know, and like the Twitter marks keep attacking them over that, you know. I don't know, man, and. My last thing on that is
because he called a girl fat or called Riho a schoolgirl. Crazy, man. Like, crazy. That's crazy.
None of that discredits his knowledge.
That's what I mean. Like, yeah, I don't agree with that. Like, yeah, okay, don't call them schoolgirls if that offends them. Sorry to offend. But it's like, yeah, it's
what he said. They're just going in circles and they're not being productive, you know?
Exactly.
I don't know. That's the last I have to say on that.
Right, exactly. Okay, so Dave. Okay, so this is Raj Giri. This guy fucking I don't know. Dave Meltzer on the latest WOR about AEW potentially doing a soft brand split with the new AEW Saturday show. If you're splitting these two brands, there's no need for an ROH. Raj Giri, I 100% agree. I agree 1,000%. Well, here's what I'll say to that. I fucking disagree.
He's right.
Do you think there's no need for an ROH? No, man. I think
Right, what is-
ROH should be
no.
treated like NXT, bro. Do a studio show.
Okay.
Do it like your NXT. Take all these young guys, Action Andretti and all these guys, get them over.
But
Send down a big name once in a while, like Samoa Joe, to help get a guy over, like OVW would, and fucking
bro,
just operate, get all your, and then go let Punk do his show with FTR, let the Elite do their show on the other side, and let them duke it out. Get rid of Rampage and Dark Elevation. That's what you don't need anymore.
Is Tony Khan gonna think like that though? You know what I'm
Fuck
saying?
no.
Is he gonna run?
Fuck no.
Right. And
he's looking at it as, oh, I got an extra 2 hours of TV and I'm gonna, yeah.
Okay. So that's why I'm agreeing with the guy. He is correct. It's just like, what's the whole like big Ring of Honor is done. You know what I'm saying? It kind of goes back to what Corny said about everything to Tony is just a new shiny toy. You know what I'm saying? It seems like Ring of Honor is no longer the new shiny toy if he's already moving on to this other shit.
Yeah, it's like so what you're saying is like, ooh, shiny, like a child like gets a new puppy and then it grows up and then he doesn't. Yeah.
And I'm basing that off what Corny said about Tony Khan, but he's right. You know what I'm saying? He's already moved on to this new thing because he's trying to please everyone. I know we could sit here and nitpick Tony Khan all we want.
And you know what?
His company.
You know, and fans, let us know, like anybody listening to this, let us know in the comments, like we maybe should turn this whole Twitter thing where we go through Twitter like its own show. This could be like a bonus show or something we do, because I mean this is compelling to me, and I love this where we dive in and you and I just kind of chop it up like over these. I love this. So if you guys want to see this as its own show, we could maybe do this like as a whole separate thing, you know, and then just stick to like reviewing and kind of like touching on more just like surface level shit in like our main show or whatever. We'll figure that out as we go along. This is the second episode, technically episode 1. This is not a beta test anymore. Yeah, dummies. And this is already the best wrestling podcast on planet fucking Earth. If you ask me, that isn't breaking hot news. Yeah. Okay. So do you want to keep going through tweets or do you want to move on?